there was a lady that I guess she was on TikTok and she did a video and she's got a really bad ticket. I forgot what it's called, but it's a career-ending ticket. And don't quote me on it. I don't remember what the name of it was, but it's a career-ending ticket. In other words, she was going down the mountain. She was going down the mountain too fast. She was going down the mountain too fast and didn't know how to do it. Guys, let me inform you something. All you new drivers, these driver trainers at most got a couple of months on you. So they really don't need to be teaching you how to drive because they don't know. I should know. I did it too. I thought I was gonna make some extra money. No. I just knew. I knew I was gonna. No. Real experienced drivers that's been doing this mess for years, they don't teach nobody how to drive because they know too much testosterone, nobody wants to listen, and you're going to be verbally abused because they don't want to die. They don't want to kick the bucket. So when they're teaching you something, you better be just humble yourself and take it. You need to humble yourself and take it because they're trying to tell you something. Now, I went through the same thing when I was training. The guy that taught me didn't know what he was doing. I was just a piece of meat. Most of the time, you were just a piece of meat to a leased driver. He just needs to keep that truck moving. He just went back and went to sleep. My first downhill run was in a mountain pass called Cabbage. Very dangerous. Everybody, I heard a lot of stuff, a lot of stories about it. You don't want to come down that fast. And what I did, and I suggest to anybody, find an older gentleman in the parking lot. Especially if they sitting in a long-nosed Pete. They probably own that sucker. Knock on their door and tell them the truth. Look, I'm a brand new driver. I'm doing this. Can you help me out? I need some help on what I need to do. And that's what I did. When I was heading over towards Cabbage, there's a Love's before you get to Cabbage. I forgot what road that was. I ain't been over that way in a long time. There's a road before you get to Cabbage. And the guy walked me by mile marker. By freaking mile marker. He said, when you start climbing that mountain and you get to this point, the scale house, once you pass the scale house, once you start climbing the mountain, once you crest that mountain, you keep that truck in that gear. Whatever gear you climb that mountain in, you go down that same gear. You go down that same gear climbing that mountain. And you take your time. The truck is going to start to speed up because of gravity. But what you do is you pick a speed limit you want to stay at. Say, for example, it's 35. Once it gets to 45, you start tapping on the brake. Don't hold it down. Start tapping on the brake till it gets back down to 35. And have your Jake brake on full. Watch your tachometer. That's your RPMs. Watch your tachometer so on this one it's 2,500. You don't want it to redline. Watch your tachometer because you'll blow your engine. Watch your tachometer and keep your eye on your speed limit. We're doing 35 here, just, for example. Once it gets to 40, you start tapping on your brake, pumping the brake till it gets back to 35. Now the whole thing is these KWs, they lose air real quick. So you got to keep an eye on your air, because you don't want you to lose your air, and next thing you know, the brakes engage, and now you're in really trouble. So you got to keep an eye on your air. Make sure that it stays within the limits, and it doesn't redline. You got to watch your tachometer, so you don't get up to 2,500. You got to watch your speed. Once it gets 5 miles above where you want it to be, start slowly pressing on your brake until it gets back down, and just follow that all the way down the hill. flashers engaged, no matter everybody yelling at you, giving you the finger, wave to them, say thank you for your help, thank you for your service, blah blah blah, and just take yourself down that hill and be alive. We got too many people not teaching y'all how to come down the mountain. That there's a poor, I don't know if he's Spanish, Latin, or whatever. He's sitting in prison because he went down 70 over there in Colorado and lost his brakes. Because there's 3 ways for you to slow down. Your regular brakes, everybody just think that's it. Your regular brakes, your Jake brake, and your gears. I learned on a manual, and the guy would tell me, once you hit a certain gear, don't come out of it because you can't get back in it. But now these manuals, these automatics, you can get out of it. But try to stay in whatever gear that is. You can, on this one, you can downshift by pushing forward. It is really dangerous, but be careful. Be careful. You could go down this mountain 100 times slow. 100 times. But that one time you go too fast, next thing you know, you're dead. Next thing you know, you done flipped the truck. Next thing you know, you ain't got a job. Next thing you know, you're getting a ticket. So go down the mountain, be careful. I don't know everything, but I want to stay alive. Plain and simple. I want to stay alive. Be careful out there. Okay. Now, when you're going down the mountain, you want to keep an eye on certain things on your gauge. First is your Jake brake. That's the Jake brake. So if you hit it like on the KW, it's on the handle right there. Right? If you push that down, I believe it's down, it will put your Jake brake to max. And it'll light up right there. That's your Jake brake. All right. Now, also, you want to keep an eye on your tachometer. On these digital ones, you don't want it to redline, which is 2500 and above. This one also has a digital, portion of it. Okay. Now, these KWs. One thing you gotta watch about these KWs, they lose air real quick. Especially the older ones. So when you are stabbing the brake, that is pumping the brake while you're going down the mountain, you want to keep an eye on your air. Don't let that get red. Once it hits red, your brakes gonna engage. So you gotta watch your speed while you're going down the mountain, pumping your brakes to get back to that sweet spot. What I mean by sweet spot, when the guy was teaching me, he said whatever the speed is that you're going up the mountain. Say for example, if you was climbing the mountain at 35, go down the mountain at 35. Whatever gear you hit, these automatics, you can switch, you can downshift on the KWs right there. If you push it forward, it will, and give it a second, it will downshift. And you'll see it right there. You would downshift, and you want to stay in that same gear. That's the way I was taught. But I was taught on a manual. But it's the same principle. You want to stay in that same gear. Screw everybody else. Put on your flashers. For the KW, flashers right there. Put on your flashers and go down the hill slow. The flashers are for telling everybody else, hey, stupid, I'm going slow. You get what I'm saying? They call you everything but a child of God, but you're gonna get through there alive. So keep an eye on your gauges. Take it easy going down the mountain, and you will survive. Don't listen to anybody else. Go down as slow as you need to be going. If it's 50, if it's 35, go down that sucker 35. Let everybody blow by you. You get what I'm saying? Let everybody blow by you. Be safe out there. Screw everybody else. Everybody swears they know what they're doing and they really don't. But do what's going to be safe for you.